Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I would like to work in this DIY washi tape. It's not really washi tape, but it looks like it and it's very fun to make. So to start with, I'm gonna start with this receipt paper roll, but you can use copy paper if you have, or any kind of paper that you want to use for this project. It's really fun. You can do it in craft paper or whatever really you have available. So to start with, I got this receipt paper, and this is the basic model, I would say. I add a little bit of stencil to give some dimension, but it's really easy. I'm gonna start with these two kind of designs because they use water, but you can do whatever is easier. So I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna use watercolor. So this is a watercolor that I received for my birthday, so I'm gonna choose this fuchsia blue. You really, because of the size of the paper, I would just need a teeny tiny drop of this. It's really not too much, because I don't want this to be an intense blue. I want it to be looking like a real watercolor. What I'm gonna do is add a little bit of water, and so it's here I'm adding a little bit of water. Ideally I would like to separate this in two groups, one with a lot of water and one without much water, and so I can create two different kind of dimensions into the paper. So the first one is gonna be covering the whole paper, and the second one just adding a little bit of places where it could be interesting focus points, right? So when it's dry, it's gonna be looking like some areas are gonna be darker than others, which is perfect for my purposes. Okay, so I'm trying to add these everywhere. It's really not rocket science. This is very intuitive. If you want everything to look the same way, you can do it. I really like doing this very simple. So I added in this other paper that I show you, it was a lighter color, watercolor. This one is a little bit darker, and because that's what I wanted. For this second one, I'm gonna add actually tea. So I boil some bags of tea, and I'm using that in my paper, directly into my paper. So what I usually do is I add the tea, and then once it's settled into the paper, I add a little bit of drops. In this case, it's not gonna work because this is not gonna dry in my mat. I'm gonna take it somewhere else, but I'm gonna show you what I do if I was drying this in my mat. So I put dots, additional dots of tea, and so in those areas where I put these additional dots is where the concentration of tea is gonna land, and because it's gonna be drying, when it's dried, then it's gonna have additional kind of concentration or the color of the tea. But in this case, it's not gonna work, and I knew that was not gonna work because I had to move it. Anyway, this is the simple design, let's say. So for this one, we are only gonna use distress ink. You can use any brown or black, whatever you have available. I'm gonna use this one because I want this to be very light color. I added these stickers in the sides of my main used stencil, and I'm gonna use this makeup brush. So I really wanted this to be really light color. Sometimes it could be a little bit too harsh, but it's okay. I want it to be light color because I want some dimension in the paper, but I don't want it to be the focus point, right? So in this one, I'm adding the brown a little bit in all the areas, but it's not something that I want to push too much. I want it to be noticeable, but I don't want it to be too noticeable, let's say. In fact, I think this might be a little bit more than I was looking for, but that's totally fine. We're gonna cover in black anyway. And I have a few stamps right next to me. I have tons of stamps, but I'm gonna use this one. So in this one, as you can see, I use it in a model like some sort of background. This is text background. And this background, I don't put too much ink on it because I don't want it to be too strong. And then I go around the whole paper. And I'm gonna do that with all my washi because I love putting washi text background. And I don't want it to be too strong, right? Because I'm gonna put other stuff in the top. And the other stuff that I'm gonna put in the top is the main focus point. So I'm gonna be using this stamp. I love this design, and then I love these kind of cut squares, and you know, it's really pretty. It looks almost like mesh, you know, stamps, and I love this. And I'm not gonna put too much ink in this one either, although this is darker. I want it to be darker than the background. And then the other one I use lace, but I'm not gonna use that lace in here. I'm gonna stuck with the with this other stamp. So this one is a floral one. I use this a lot, quite a lot, in many projects. I really love this clear stamp. And then I'm gonna try to choose many of the images in this clear stamp. I'm gonna be using this one, and I'm sorry that sometimes I'm out of camera, but moving the camera back and forth is a little bit harder, so I'm gonna just show you as I process this. And then I have this wooden stamp, and because our background is so light colored, there is still gonna be very noticeable. It says "C'est génial, c'est la vie." And then we have this circular, of course. I want my focus point to be highlighted by some dots or geometrical forms, and I found this in a thrift store, and this is stamp set, and I love it. I usually don't find tons of stuff in the thrift store, but this one, I really was lucky that I found like 3 or 4 sets of those, and they are from Stampin' Up, I think. All Stampin' Up sets, and this one is so pretty. These are like dotted lines, 3 dotted lines, and they are just perfect. I really was looking forward to use it. And then I'm gonna be using this other stamp as well. As I said, I have several stamp sets next to me. So the butterfly is gonna be my focus point for this specific design, let's say, the washi tape. I really spent a lot of time stamping because stamping is such relaxing activity, at least to me. It doesn't require too much thought on it, just a little bit enough for me to be happy with how it looks like. Okay, I really like how the butterflies look, but I'm gonna add a number here, and this number 9 is calling my attention, so I'm gonna add this one here, maybe in the middle between these 2 butterflies, right here. And then I'm gonna add just some details in the right corner, just because it feels like something is missing there. So probably this one is gonna make the magic on it, and I like it. So we have this piece now, at least to my taste. I think it's pretty good. I like the way it looks. And so if you compare with the other one, it looks a little bit different, but we have the same concept. This one has the browns a little bit darker than the other one. And of course we use this always, but you can use this other one with the distressing to create the same effect if you don't have a stencil. Anyway, let's go to the second one. So for the second one, we're gonna use this watercolor paper that we made before. And I'm gonna start with this distress ink, and I have this coffee stain circle kind of, and I was looking forward to use this as well. I don't use this enough, although I love this stamp. I think that this is the only stamp that I use actually from this stamp set. Sometimes I try harder. And if you add a little bit of water, you know what happens with this distress ink. It's gonna lift a little bit of the color, and it's looking great. I really like the way it's looking like. And brown and blue are really good friends, so they look good together. And I added a little bit more in my previous washi, my previous try. And I don't have close to me all the stamps that I have, but let's use this lace wooden stamp that I have very close to me. I have a tray with the stamps very close to me, and those are either small or something that I use very frequently. And this lace is so easy to use. I have like several lace stamps, but this one is just so close to me that I can't help to use it. And then I'm gonna use this photographic kind of clear stamp, and I really like this one too because it's so dark, and you know, it looks so pretty. And you know what, I just noticed that we forgot one of my favorite things to put, which is adding the background. So let's go into that. Let's go into there, and as I said, I don't push too much into the black, which is totally fine if you put that after you started the stamping. And I mean, it's pretty good because the darker black is gonna cover it anyway. Okay, so we can keep going with the orders. I'm gonna use this other part of the stamp, and this or oval, I guess, it's gonna be around here. And I think I have a small butterfly around here, because I want to make it this kind of a concept as everything is gonna be kind of in the same theme. Although I might not achieve it because I don't have enough butterfly sticker or stamps, I guess. And so with these butterflies, this doesn't print as good as I wish it would print, but it's small enough and it's cute, and you know, it kind of adds to this abstract idea. Anyway, this is how it finally looks like. I had to move the camera to show, and this one is a little bit darker color than the other one, just because I've used the Prusa versus the other one, Cerulio, I think it was. So this one is the tea dye paper. This is dry, and then see the difference. This is kind of the regular color, and this is darker. It's a very yellowish. And I added in the other one some distress ink. I'm not gonna add it in this one because I want to see how it looks like without that. To add this purple, I have this small little stamp, and instead of using any clear stamp or anything, I'm gonna just put that against the paper, and wherever there is a lot of ink, it's just gonna transfer into the paper. And I kind of like this design that is kind of random. And then let's start again with the process, and as I said, I always use this, and you can put that in. I mean, it depends a lot on your preference, right? So this one, I have this one handy. It's very small, and I think it's very fun to put that, and it provides like a fun background always. Like if the paper is in some parts kind of boring and you forget or you don't have enough stamps, just by adding this background, it keeps like the interest in the paper. Alright, so the next step is going to be choosing again our stamps. For I start stamping this piece of paper, and again I'm going to go with this stamp set, and it's very fun because it has some, you know, lines and that can add perspective. And then I'm going to add this kind of a ticket image that I have in a clear stamp. And then I'm gonna add probably this one. That is a wood stamp that is again image, but it's not enough to cover the paper, so I put that as a small detail. this one that I fell in love with, I bought this like, I think it was at the end of last year, and I still love it so much. And then this one that looks like a ticket. This is from Wood Tape. I really love that stamp. Okay, so then I'm gonna add these other ones, all the small stamps. This one, I can't remember where I got it from, but it's kind of a ticket image as well. It's very small, very fun to use. And then I have this square. I really like it. It's kind of complementary. It was in the same set of the circular one, and in this one I think I have too many frames, so I'm gonna just cover the inside. But because this is kind of abstract, I don't care whether the image is transferred completely or not. I'm just trying to avoid the frame, and it's pretty good, I think. And then we can keep adding these small little stamps. I have these florals here, and the best part of course is that they don't have frames, and they transfer, but sometimes they get lost between the background because the lines are very thin. And then this one I think I got from Cora Crea, and although I love this stamp, I think it wasn't the right decision in this process, just because it was it had frames, and as you can see it's just kind of adding too much. And then this one looks like kind of this, the stamp that you receive in the passport side, but it's teeny tiny. And then more circles, you can always use more circles. Circles are just perfect. So I'm gonna close here. I'm gonna put all of these on the side so I can clean it up later, because I have a big pile now. And I like this, how it's looking like. I'm gonna clean up a little bit my mat, because we have been stamping and painting and doing all sorts of stuff, and before we put it away, it's better to clean up now than clean up later when you can't really take away everything. And this is how it looks like. I really enjoy the process, and you can use always more brown if you want to, and add that is distressing, and then use more water for this distressed look. But I really like how it looks like without that as well. And this is the second one that we did. This one has the brown more noticeable because we added a little bit more in that one. And you can tell now the difference between tea dye paper and the regular paper, and then of course the blue dye paper. I really like the designs. They are very cute. Thank you so much for watching.